problem that Harry and Meghan have got is that they've sold out completely to the commercial world. Their stock in trade is indeed themselves. That's what they've got to sell. And rather like a shark moving through the water, they have to keep going ahead or else they die. So they've got to come up with more.
Prince Harry's forthcoming memoir, Spare, is tough on William in particular, a source with knowledge of the book has said. The personal and emotional memoir, which has been ghostwritten by the Pulitzer Prize winner J.R. Moringa, will be released on the 10th of January. In the Harry and Meghan documentaries that were released last month, the Duke of Sussex claimed that William screamed and shouted at him after a row broke out between the brothers over Brexit. Well, joining us now is Michael Cole, the former BBC correspondent. Happy New Year, Michael.
Happy New Year to you, Rick, and greetings to you, Kate. Yes, you're quite right. It's tomorrow week. This memoir, Spare, will be published in 16 languages around the world.
Gosh.
Yes, indeed. And a huge advance has been paid by the publisher, Penguin Random House, $31 million, which must be up in the top 10 of advances ever given by publishing anywhere in the world. And of course, the publishers have now got to get some of their money back, and they've been pushing this book. I mean, even weeks before Christmas, I saw it pre-orders at W.H. Smith in Woodbridge at half price, so £14 instead of 28.
That's not a good sign, is it?
Well, to be remaindered before you're published, I suppose, is some sort of record. But as you say, I mean, a lot is being talked up about it. The name is the title is quite clever, Spare. I mean, it being a play on Prince William being the heir, and Prince Harry, his younger brother, being the spare. But it might equally be called Stare, because he looks out of the cover straight down the barrel of the lens with his red beard, rather like Henry VIII looking out of that famous portrait, I think by Holbein, where he looks out and stares the world down, including the Pope. You know,
yeah.
It's a picture of defiance,
yeah.
And I think we're going to get quite a lot of defiance in this book.
Well, he potentially is, according to some people, the modern day Cromwell, isn't he? Is there a reason that he stopped taking aim at the king? The reason I'm asking you this, Michael, is because when the late Queen was alive, he never took aim at the head of state, did he? And it seems to be that in what we're hearing from the book Spare, that he's not attacking King Charles directly.
You may be right that it's a calculated ploy, or perhaps he's being sincere. The problem that Harry and Meghan have got is that they've sold out completely to the commercial world. Their stock in trade is indeed themselves. That's what they've got to sell. And rather like a shark moving through the water, they have to keep going ahead or else they die. So they've got to come up with more. I mean, we just recently been through the Harry and Meghan show, which was 6-hour-long episodes of whinge and complaint and allegation. And now we're going to have this. There is a danger of Sussex fatigue setting in. But the king, as you mentioned, has played it very cleverly, because he's let it be known that they would still be welcome at the coronation, which isn't long away, 6th of May. And that's quite clever, because that puts the ball back into their court in California. They have to now decide whether they accept, which would leave them open to the charge of hypocrisy, or if they reject it, then they might look a little bit petulant and petty. And for Prince Harry, there is a problem, because in the coronation, all the princes of the blood there present have to kneel and make an oath of loyalty or fealty to the newly crowned king. And they have to do that as liege men of life and limb. And this is a very solemn moment. Now, could Prince Harry do that with a straight face, or would he be like those anti-royal MPs in the House of Commons who, before they take their seats for a new parliament have to take a loyal oath and do so by crossing their fingers behind their back, indicating that they're not loyal to the monarch at all. So there are problems, but the royal family are trying very, very hard not to react, because that would just pour petrol upon the flames.
And of course, we all get an extra bank holiday in May, 3 bank holidays this coming May, for the coronation, like you say, on May the 6th. Michael, bearing all that in mind, won't this just become the Meghan and Harry show during the coronation if they do choose to come?
Well, that's a very interesting point, of course, and that will be calculated. I don't know. I think the British people will probably rise above it all, but there is a very real danger. The polls say that they're extremely unpopular in this country, although they have fans elsewhere in the world. And in all the time that I've been writing royal stories and covering royal stories, the only time I've ever heard boos for a member of the royal family was at the St. Paul's Cathedral at the Thanksgiving service for the 70-year unprecedented reign of Her Majesty the Queen. And people in the crowd there was quite a lot of booing. Now, even going around the world
for Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, they were booed as they went into the cathedral. I mean, I remember being in Quebec City, where there were French nationalists or French separatists demonstrating, and the Queen Mother was there. They didn't boo her. They were just demonstrating for separatism, which of course didn't come to be. But that's quite unprecedented. So there has to be a calculation about that. Obviously, there would be some focus on them, but it will be such a great and glorious occasion. I think they might become an afternote, but they may be tempted to come because their whole reason for being is to be seen.
Yeah.
One newspaper yesterday was saying that they're going to become the new Kardashians. Well, I wouldn't wish that fate upon them, but having taken the route that they have taken, that is a logical end, because Prince Harry has a 3-book deal, believe it or not.
Oh, really? So there'll be more. There'll be more $31 million in the pipeline.
Well, there's got to be something new. There's got to be something new, because if people pay their money and they don't get what is promised, they will feel they've been had.
Right.
And that is not a good thing. I mean, we have to look at it, we have to see it, but a lot of people, I think, and I hear this all the time from people saying, I can't bear it anymore. I can't bear them anymore. Why don't they just be quiet? Because let's be frank about it, whinging and whining is not an attractive thing.
Michael, we've got to stop you there.
Okay.
Whinging and whining is not an attractive thing in any form. Well, that was a good moment to stop Michael. Michael, always good to speak to you. Michael Cole, former BBC royal correspondent. $31 million. That was the advance, Kate, for the book Spare, which comes out next week.